This is Bob Pringle, reference librarian. I'm going to talk about choosing subject terms in database searching, specifically about databases with specific subject headings, especially CINAHL and PubMed, and I'll use PubMed as my example. The techniques I'm going to talk about are not as useful in more general databases, such as Web of Science or Academic Search Complete. I want to talk about two approaches to finding subject headings in PubMed or in other databases that have specific terms. If you go to the subject heading list, in this case called the Medical Subject Heading or MESH database, and put in the term that you think might be useful, I'm going to put in Public Health Policy, and see if there is a subject heading that the software will find that matches that. And there is not in this case. Well, I'm more interested in the health policy aspect, so let's take a look at that. And I see that there is such a term, and it has healthcare reform and nutrition policy as more specific terms under it. I also want to know if obesity is a subject heading, and it also is. And there are some more specific headings that fit under it. That's great if you're lucky and if the subject headings match. The approach that I want to spend a little more time on is looking at obesity and public health policy. And again, I am searching on the PubMed main page using the text box. And the software will look for articles that deal with this, with the terms somewhere in them. So you can see I've got public health here, obesity. I don't have policy necessarily, except down here. One of the drawbacks of this approach is that PubMed gives you the latest material first, and this comes from the publisher before it's been processed. So there are no subject headings attached to this. And that is not at all what I want to see. I want to see items with subject headings attached. And so I'm trying not to make you seasick by running down this page. But I want to get to an indexed reference, and I'm still seeing in process. Here we go. Medical subject headings. Item number 17 from the European Journal of Health Law. Health policy, obesity, and public health. And I could also make obesity more specific and choose prevention and control. And I think I may do that. I probably won't use the subheading legislation and jurisprudence. So now I'm going to go back to MESH. I've got obesity as a subject heading. I decided that I wanted prevention and control as one of the major focuses. And now I'm going to say I'm going to restrict this to a MESH major topic and add it to my search builder. That was obesity. Now I want public health policy, so I'm going to start with public health. And do that search. That is a subject heading. Again, it has more specific terms under it, in this case, many of them. And I'm going to include all of them, but I'm going to add that to the search builder with and. And then I'm going to go for the health policy focus. Because we know that that's a subject heading, we looked it up. And again, I'm going to restrict that to the major focus. This time I'm going to use the OR operator to add to the search builder. And I'm going to have to do some editing with this to search PubMed. Because what I want it to do is to find first all of the articles that deal with public health or health policy, and then I want it to combine that set with the subject heading, the prevention and control of obesity. And we'll see if my parentheses work. So I have obesity, prevention and control as a major focus, and public health. I need to take out that parenthesis, or public or health policy. Now let's repeat the search, and instead of 43,000 references, we have 831, a much more reasonable and focused search. And I can also do some other things with this set of references, but we'll do those in the next tutorial.